Systems times people equals results. You could have the best people in the world. If you don't have systems for them to follow, if you don't have systems for them to become great, if you don't have systems to define to them what is the playing field that they have to play within and what defines a win or a loss, how in God's name would they ever know? Until right now, this very moment, contractors have always been on their own, not as tradespeople, but being alone and knowing how to take their business to the next level. They call us working class, they call us blue collar. They say that we don't have the smarts to become the business owner that we're meant to be. That is such bullshit. You have the ability. You're more than any of that. The question really is, where do you get the insights that you need specific to contracting to systemize your business so you can get your profits to pay for your freedom? I'm Andrew Houston. I'm going to show you how to make more profits, how to get more control, how to get more freedom in the simplest, quickest way possible without any of that bullshit. Welcome to the No Bullshit Podcast for Contractors. Listen up, level up, and if you learn something, like the video, subscribe to the channel, change your business, change your life. All right, Rockstars, I hope you guys are having a great day. Welcome to, the 10 Commandments for Contractors. Now, I don't want anybody to be, I don't want anybody to get too sensitive around the topic. It's just, when I look at this, I'm going to say sensitive to the topic. Yes, it has a bit of a religious connotation, but the reality is that I'm looking at this from the perspective of the 10 Commandments of thou shalt not, okay? And when you run a contracting business, it's really important that you follow certain principles, right? That you follow certain values, however you like to look at it. There's principles which we have to follow, like breathing, right? If I said to you, just breathe out, I know what's going to happen, right? We're going to pass out. Well, if you don't follow these, let's just call them habits. You want to call them, I like calling them as fun, the commandments. If you don't follow these 10 commandments, you're going to struggle to have a business that runs without you, and you're going to struggle in becoming the champion CEO that you're meant to be. So I've got these 10 commandments. I'm going to share them with you ever so quickly. I'm going to try and let's see if I can pull up my screen here to draw with my iPad. Okay, so let me just change that. I'm going to bring this to, okay, let's see here. So I'm going to try and time myself here, everybody. I'm going to give myself 2 10-minute slots. Here we go. We got the countdown. So I'm going to try and rip through these 10 commandments. I'm going to go into more depth into them later on. I've written them up here in front of me. The first one that I wanted to share with you, so you might want to write these down, okay? These are not in any particular order. The reason I didn't put them in any particular order for now is I'm just looking at having you understand what they are, and then you can prioritize which ones you think go in which order, okay? Sound like a plan? All right, so let's do this. Let me start the old timer. There we go, okay? So hopefully I can get through the first 5 in 10 minutes, and let's rock and roll. Let's have a great time here. If you're listening in on this and you want to find out more information, you can definitely raise your hand for more detail on the 10 commandments. You can just type in 10 or commandments, or just more information, Andrew, on commandment number 2 or 3 or whatever. Okay, so let's do this. One of the ones that comes to mind is, the first commandment, okay? The first commandment for contractors is rough it, right? Thou shalt, right, rough it. Here's the reality. In order for you to make progress, in order for you to move the dial, to improve your business, the reality is that if we get hung up in perfection, if we get hung up in that mindset of like it has to be just right, the odds are you're never going to get started with it, or you're never going to, which is the worst thing, you're never going to get it to the point of roughing it that you try it out. And when you don't try something out, you're not going to learn from it. If you don't learn from it, well, then you're not going to be making progress. Okay. So thou shall rough it. Take the things that we cover off, whether it's in the no bullshit, some of the episodes in our no bullshit podcast, like you're listening in right now, and really take them to heart. Okay. But try them out. Okay. Get started, taking action and participating is one of the most important things. Too many times we get paralyzed by perfection. Okay. So thou shall rough it. Okay. And not want to perfect it. Okay, that's a little bit addition to that one. We don't want perfection. It's not really possible. Okay, it's okay to have things working well, working good, working great, but that doesn't define perfection. So, thou shalt rough it. That's the first commandment that we're covering off today. The second commandment, okay, that we're covering off today is thou shalt get off the tools, okay? The reality is that most people, most contractors, instead of getting off the tools, they get hung up on the tools. They get hung up doing the work. They get hung up being the technician. And in all honesty, you're probably very, very good at what you do. But when it comes to becoming a champion CEO, when it comes to really running your business, you're not going to be able to get the business to be a well-oiled machine where your profits pay for your freedom if you're on the tools. Okay? When you look at it, at some point you were on the tools. Some of you guys are off the tools, but thou shalt not stay on the tools, because that's not where your value is at. You are way more valuable to your team, to your clients, to your business as a whole when you're not on the tools. So thou shalt not, stay on the tools. It's not your fault. I can tell you right now, it's not your fault, because, in all reality, you're good at that. And that's something that you've got value to share. Okay. And it's okay to be on the tools so long as you are systemizing your business. You're breaking things down in a way that other people can follow. Other people can do those tasks. And it doesn't have to be as good as you. Back to the previous one about perfection. It just has to be good enough that it supports the business and the direction the business wants to go. Okay. With that in mind, we have to have a plan to get off the tools. So thou shalt not stay on the tools. Third commandment, thou shalt play above the line. Now you might want to write this down. There's above the line and below the line. So picture that we've got this line. Okay. Below it is a victim mindset. And the victim thinks in this order. They blame, right? So they blame, they make excuses, they're in denial. If you look at the first three letters of that, they make their own bed. And they have a victim mindset. The woe is me. The world is against me. Oh, I can't find anybody that's good. There's nobody out there that's able to be trustworthy. That's below the line mindset. We got to stay above the line, and above the line is the victor mindset, which is really in this order. Okay, it's we got to take ownership, we got to be accountable, and we got to be responsible. Okay, if you look at the first three letters of that, it's pretty cool. It's you think about it. You are leading your ship. It's your ship. It's nobody else's ship. It's your ship. So you got to stay above that line and think like a victor. Don't think of a victim mindset. Now, it's okay every once in a while to go below that line, because that's human. But look, we got to rise above to the occasion and have a victor mindset versus a victim mindset. So that is the third commandment. Okay, I'm looking at the clock. I'm going to pick things up. Thou shalt dominate their market. You've got to dominate your market. And to dominate your market, you've got to differentiate yourself beyond the competition. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's really, really easy. Most contracting companies are in chaos. When we look at people that are contractors and they want to become champion CEOs and they join our family, they come in and they get the help that's needed. One of the things that they really quickly learn is that there's so many opportunities to dominate the market, because most contractors that are out there are in a form of chaos. They don't know how to run a business. And I got to tell you, it's not their fault. It's not your fault, because nobody's showing you. But where it comes back to being above that line in the previous commandment, being a victor. You've got to own your own ship. You've got to be, you got to have leadership. You've got to be responsible and realize that you can't do it all on your own. Okay. So learning these skills to differentiate yourself from the competition, it's really about becoming an apex predator, right? And that's about really knowing your numbers, knowing, what services that you have, creating an amazing environment so that you got an A team of players that love working for you, and you got clients that love working for you, and it's amazing how you can dominate your market and become an apex predator. So the fourth commandment is thou shalt dominate their market. Commandment number 5, thou shalt give great leadership. Okay, lead your ship. You've got to be the compass for your company. And I have to be honest with you, I've struggled with this from time to time, okay? Where the business grows really quickly, the vision or the goals that we set out, sometimes we achieve them really rapidly or sometimes things get delayed. But in all honesty, you are the compass. You have to you have to be responsible and lead your ship. An example of doing that is letting your team know where it is that you're trying to go. Now, you might struggle with, reading a lot of these books where they're like, you need to know where you're going in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. Let's just pause that for a second. Where are you going, at the end of this month? Where are you going next quarter? Where are you going between now and the end of the year? Let's just start with reasonable, compasses to take us, to a point that we can see. Okay, that's realistic for us. You don't have to go and set these goals, pie in the sky stuff. If you can't even set, if you can't even lead your ship to next month, you're not going to be able to lead your ship the next quarter. So set some targets. Set some micro mission statements. We are going to achieve this by this period in time. And that is one of the greatest ways to lead your ship, is to give direction to your team. And that allows you and your team to know that, are you making progress towards that direction? Okay. So that is the 5th commandment. Next commandment. The 6th commandment is thou shalt, this one's critical, thou shalt know their numbers. Your numbers are really the dashboard of your business. And it's that dashboard that allows you to make educated decisions versus hope decisions, versus like nice to have decisions. Data drives decisions. I'll say that again. 3 Ds. Data drives decisions. And that's the reality. So we have to, right? Thou shalt know their numbers. Start off with knowing some of the simple numbers, okay? When you're looking at pick one job site and get to know the numbers. Are you on track? Are you off track? Are you ahead of schedule? Next, number 7, thou shalt get their profits to pay for their freedom. Now, you can't do that if you don't know your numbers in the previous commandment. So thou shalt get their profits to pay for their freedom. Now, what do I mean by pay for their freedom? Well, let's start on the business side. Once you know your numbers and you can do certain things to become profitable, then your profits can pay for things like hiring people to do the things that you shouldn't be doing, like getting off, like commandment number 2, where we talked about thou shalt get off the tools. So thou shalt get their profits to pay for their freedom. Get your profits by knowing your numbers, okay? It allows you to go and hire people because you can afford people to do the stuff that you shouldn't be doing so that you can do higher level, higher value tasks. So replace the $20 minimum wage tasks that you're doing, like taking out the garbage, cleaning the trucks, with somebody else so that you can move up and start to look at management tasks, managing your team, reviewing your numbers, making sure that you have Monday morning meetings, making sure that the team is communicating, and you're going to see your value go up exponentially. I know that you're worth thousands of dollars per hour. I know that eventually our champion CEOs are worth tens of thousands of dollars per hour because the decisions they make generate those kind of results on the bottom line. So thou shalt get their profits to pay for their freedom. 8th commandment, okay? Thou shalt systemize their business. Systemizing your business, if you want to write down this formula, systems times people equals results. You could have the best people in the world. If you don't have systems for them to follow, if you don't have systems for them to become great, if you don't have systems to define to them What is the playing field that they have to play within, and what defines a win or a loss? How in God's name would they ever know? Your systems drive your business, and your people run your systems. So thou shalt get their systems, okay? Thou shalt systemize their business. And I'm talking about everything from the first phone call. This is one of the biggest things that we provide to our champion CEOs, is done for them and done with them systems, so that they can tailor already done checklists. Examples of that, if you're already in the, if you're already in this Facebook group that you're listening to me on, there's lots of systems that you guys can go and get that we've put in there for free, like the Monday morning meeting, the top 5 money making meetings, right? How to run a Monday morning meeting, how to run the Friday reflection meeting, how to run, the financial meeting. Okay. So guys, you've got to leverage other people's systems instead of trying to create it all yourself. And that's how you leapfrog decades to days. That's how you achieve part of the 4th commandment, being, thou shalt dominate their market, because most of the competition don't have systems. And when you can systemize a business, that's when the systems, right, can be, systems run the business and people run those systems. And you'd be amazed how much freedom that's going to give you. So commandment number 9, thou shalt, and I should have sort of put this one, I would put this one pretty much first. So maybe I'm going to organize them here. Thou shalt put family first before the business. It might shock you. With Profit for Contractors, and with us focusing on becoming a champion CEO, your family is the number 1 priority. I know it's tough sometimes. With that being said, you've got to put your family first. So when you're sitting there and you're looking at your week, let's say tomorrow, what's one thing that you could do with your family such that you put them first? Could it be waking up before anybody else and making everybody breakfast before you go to work? Could it be, writing a sticky note on a piece of, on the bathroom mirror, on the bathroom mirror of your kids, on the bathroom mirror for your partner or your wife or your husband, just to say to them that you love them? It doesn't have to be complicated. Thou shalt put their family first is so critical. And the decisions you make in your business with that mindset is a game changer. Because instead of just looking at the business, in making a decision on how it's going to improve the business, think about how is this going to improve the business to give myself a better life with my family. So thou shalt put their family first before business. And I think a lot of times what happens as contractors is we get caught up in this tornado of business, and it just holds us hostage. We have to literally break those chains and make some small adjustments to gain more and more momentum with our family. And I get it. I know it's hard. That's why I gave some examples that were really simple. I've shared this before, but I go for a walk quite often with my wife and sometimes with my kids. And it doesn't cost us anything. We get to share time with each other. We get to talk about how the other person's day was, or some of the challenges and some of the wins and some of the successes, and just where they're at. And while we get exercise. So keep it simple. Maybe that should be another, that's similar to thou shalt rough it. Keep it simple and just put that family first. So thou shalt put the family first. All right, where are we at now? So number 10, thou shalt not, have a handshake business. I know this is maybe a little bit, purely logical type of thing. With that being said, a handshake business is a business that doesn't have the pillars of structure around it from the perspective of legality, of contracts in place. Contracts are one of the most important things that you guys have to do to sort of establish officially the rules of the game. Contracts with your clients. It's critical. You know what's happened with some handshake deals where client is like, no, we talked about this. No, we talked about that. No, you said that was going to be included. contracts with their team members. So they understand what their roles are and responsibilities. That they know that this is what they've signed up for. And they know, like I said prior to this, that they know what winning means. But having a contract in place, like employee contracts, is super critical because it's eventually going to come back to bite you. Something's going to happen. You start off, all excited with a new employee, and then all of a sudden something doesn't work out. And next thing you know, you have an employment lawyer knocking on your door. And the reality is that they tend to have more rights than you do, especially if you don't have a contract in place. So contracts with your, even your suppliers, contracts with your suppliers, contracts with your customers, contracts with your clients, contracts, any place where there's a risk. And we got Kayla, who's our construction lawyer. You'd be amazed at how much business that she gets by contractors not putting contracts in place. It might cost you $500 to put that contract in place, but the reality is that, here's the brutal reality. The reality is that if you don't put that into play, then you're not going to have the ability to hold people, including yourself and your business, accountable to what was promised. Handshakes. Okay, a handshake business is a bad business. So thou shalt not have a handshake business. So that is the 10 commandments that we covered off today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed them. Let me know your thoughts. If you want to get more information, we have got tools and strategies. We've got, done with you templates that apply to every single one of these areas. Don't do it alone. You've got to reach out for help. You can't do this alone. We've got a huge community inside this group. Don't do it alone. Put your questions out there. You're not alone. If you behave like you're alone, then you're alone. But make sure that you behave in a way that you realize that the problems that you're having right now, any of these 10 commandments that resonate with you, where you're having problems with them, I had these problems. Okay. My team members, we got a whole team of coaches that come out of the contracting world where they've gotten their business to run without them. They had the same challenges. I can guarantee you, 95% of the challenges that you posted in this group where you need to get help, other people have dealt with them or they're dealing with them right now. So don't do it alone. And I hope that these 10 commandments resonate with you guys. And I got 28 seconds here on the mark. Hopefully that was beneficial. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know, maybe there's some commandments that you live by. Maybe this stimulated something saying, hey, Andrew, have you ever thought of this commandment? Type it in the comments field. I'd love to hear your feedback on this. And I'll see you guys on the flip side. So I got the old countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Peace out. Hey, Rockstar, I hope that you enjoyed that one. I mean, if you did like this podcast, leave a review, leave a comment. This will help us a lot to keep you bringing the gold, allowing you to delegate, dominate, and deliver so you can take your contracting business to the next level. Now, make sure you subscribe, get the latest teachings and insights, and we will see you back here for another No Bullshit podcast. No, seriously, no bullshit.